Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to some new faces. I wonder why. Well, we'll go through that when we get to it. Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the nose. First order of business is a statement of commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Scituate Waterways Commission is committed to providing an environment of respect during meetings. We ask that all members to interact in a polite manner, even when there is a disagreement. We value the participation of our community and want all participants, including marginalized and minoritized communities, to feel welcomed and respected. We ask that our committee members and all those who participate to commit to these standards to support and respect our community. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Second. We have a second with Brian Kelly. We'll call the roll. Brian Cronin.
Aye.
Brian Kelly.
Aye.
Howie Pressberg.
You're muted, Hal.
Howie, you're muted. There you go.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see you. TJ.
Good evening.
Thank you. Yes. Stephen.
Here.
And Dave Deneen. Yes. Okay. Cool Brothers. Welcome, guys. As everybody knows, we've been battling with minutes, but I hope everybody's had a chance to go through only 4 sets of minutes. It's almost a half a year. We should have gone for the half-year record. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get them squared away. We're back on track. Thank you for, I've got some comments from a few people. We'll add those. So we'll start with December 4, 2024. Were there any other comments that I had not received? If anybody has any comments or suggestions, if not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from December 4th, 2024.
Dave, you captured my changes that I sent you, correct?
Got them, sir.
Thank you.
So moved on the motion.
BC. Second. Good. Somebody say yes. It's easy.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian Kelly.
Can we do a batch on these?
Yes.
Can you?
We group them together, just like they do at special town meeting.
Okay.
Well, we can go through and see if there's any comments and then,
Now let's just finish this one since we're sort of in a we're just commenting on it. Let me just take a roll and at least we'll get 2024 put to bed. Okay. So we'll do the roll call. Brian Cronin.
aye.
Or yes, this is to approve the minutes for December 4, 2024. So Brian Cronin says,
Yes.
thank you. Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Howie Kretzenberg.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes.
Stephen? Yeah. Dave says yes, that passes. Does anybody have any comments or suggestions for January 2025, February 2025, and finally March of 2025? As everybody knows, we've had 2 reporting secretaries trying to help us out, including Katie. And was Elisa here? Let's see her. Any other comments or suggestions? Brian had given me comments for just December. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the 3 months of minutes.
All right. So a motion to accept the minutes for January 2025, February 2025, and March 2025.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
my motion.
Very good. Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Any more discussion? Call the roll. Brian Cronin.
Yes.
Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Kretzenberg.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes.
Stephen. Dave says yes, that passes unanimously. Thank you. There was no correspondence. Chairman's report, town's got us working on annual appointments right now. I've reached out to four of us that are coming up for our 3 years. Brian, Rick Murray, Brian Kelly, Brian Cronin, and myself. So I've let them all know and to make sure that their ethics training is up to date, and if they want to stay on the board, to submit an application to the select board. And really, that's about it for the chairman's report. We'll get into a few things as we get ongoing. Harbor Master.
First, building feasibility study. It's going along. We have a meeting coming up to kind of go over where the consultant is on that. Anybody have any questions on that?
When's the next meeting?
It's gonna be tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what are some of the discussion points? Do you guys have an agenda yet?
No,
So where do we stand on this building?
where do we stand? It's just a feasibility study, how it's not, there's just seeing if it can be done or needs to be done, and they'll come up with some designs as well.
Well, isn't the architect at a point where they're beginning to have some preliminary designs?
I think that's what they're gonna go over with us tomorrow.
Oh,
They didn't give them to me today.
okay.
Howie, just so you know, schematic design development is happening March through May. They started with the feasibility for January through March. They were working on coming up with basic ideas and designs and new concepts. So now they're going to start with the design development. So that's what's happening now. We probably won't see anything review approval of schematic design package between May and June. So hopefully Stephen will have some better information for us at our May meeting. Does that help? I hope.
They're on schedule.
On schedule.
No, I'd like to request that maybe we invite them to come to our meeting in May.
That's fine. There will be a charge for it, just so everybody knows. So that's be the first over budget.
I believe that.
So what?
I believe the charge,
Fine, I'm just letting you know.
so I believe that charge would be about $1,000, which, considering the fact we're in the dark, I don't think that's money badly spent. So I agree with Howie.
Yep, you are correct on that, Brian. Additional meetings are billed at $1,000.
Just one question is if by May 1st or the first Wednesday in May, will the schematic design be complete? I don't know if they're have a tight, what their schedule is, but we'd rather see a completed schematic design versus one that they show up to the meeting and say, oh, no, it's not ready. And then have them back $1,000 in June.
Brian, you bring up a good point, but are they not supposed to have a plan by June 1st? Dave, are you looking at the proposal?
Yeah, schematic design development, design refinement based on feedback from preliminary designs. We will refine the schematic design, ensuring alignment with the stakeholder expectations, project goals, regulatory coordination. During this phase, we will initiate discussions with relevant regulatory agencies. In May, June, and they sort of keeping it open, stakeholder review, we will present schematic design package to all stakeholders in May for a thorough review and feedback. So it looks like they should probably be coming, and I'd like you to ask them when they're going to be coming and if they can attend our May meeting, whether or not they can have their plans prepared by in a
I
month.
already plan on doing that.
Very good.
But let's make sure the schematic design's complete, so maybe the June meeting's the best meeting.
So by the reading of that, we are a stakeholder since we are
We're a
involved in the
stakeholder.
pain of the
Yes.
harbor master side of this equation, if it moves forward. So I would imagine that $1,000 would be waived if they're presenting it to the stakeholders.
Not really sure.
Good point, Brian.
Generally, these types of feasibility studies, there's generally a couple meetings that are thrown into the budget.
were.
He's had one that he's already been here, and then it looks like he's got this other one that's coming up in May,
But he
so.
also had one where he met with the town administrator, myself, select board, Coast Guard, and other stakeholders at town hall.
Okay, so that's 3 meetings, okay. So if you could get some information for us, that'd be very
Susan,
helpful.
how are you?
Hello. Hey. Good evening.
Anybody else have any questions about the building? The Jericho State Boat Ramp, I will get right into it. Commonwealth of Massachusetts Division of Fishing and Boating Access started a project in 2018 to work on the Jericho State Boat Ramp. They moved swiftly, and they started a project. So their plan is to come in, and they've changed the time and the date a couple of times. Looks like it's gonna be now April 28th, I believe is what it said. And they'll be working on it, and the end date for the project was June
15.
June 15th, 2025 is the completion of the project. They're hoping to get a lot of the work done so that the ramp can be operational again. It all depends on how the project goes. Right now, it is from those two dates. We're gonna work closely with them, keep them moving on schedule and on time.
Does that mean that there's?
Right now, after that date, the boat ramp will be closed, there'll be zero access
Wow.
until such time when it determines that it can be reopened safely. That all their work and all their staff is out of the way, and they'll start working on lighting and riprap and things like that.
Has anybody had a chance to see the notice to boat ramp users? And if you'd like, I can read it to everybody. Just so everybody is in the clear on what it's about.
I sent it out to the members today.
Okay, but for our
It's also
users,
on our website, on our Facebook page, on the town's website. I sent it to Pullman, to the yacht club. I know the boat club knows about it. So if you want to read it, that'd be fine.
Town of Scituate notice to boat ramp users, the Massachusetts Department of Fish and Games Office of Fishing and Boating Access is beginning work on the Jericho Road Boat Ramp Parking Lot and Site Improvement Project in the town of Scituate, Mass. The project includes improvements to the parking lot, adjacent seawall, and riprap stone armor stones, lighting, miscellaneous gangway work to improve public access to Scituate Harbor. The public is advised that work is scheduled to start on or after April 28, 2025. All work is anticipated to be completed no later than June 15th, 2025. The facility is expected to be closed during construction to protect public safety. The facility may be open earlier if construction operations are completed. There's more information on the state's website, and I know that the town has been putting up pieces with this. And alternate state boat ramps in the vicinity of the project are also available, and they cited Hingham Boat Ramp, Weymouth Back River, Green Harbor, Marshfield, Plymouth Harbor Boat Ramp, and there is the alternative Town of Scituate Boat Ramp, which is the Cole Parkway, which can only be used between mid to high tide. And that's what was sent out today by the town.
And by the state.
And by the state.
And by the state.
Comments?
They called us a couple of weeks ago and told us that they were starting. I spoke to Jim about it. and they came up with a schedule, I think it was Monday.
Yeah, Monday is when you called.
That's when.
You got a call on Monday? Michael McDonough, 53 Main Street, Lowell, Mass, Energy Harbor Services. Stephen called me Monday because I had been putting in Jericho Road launching ramp floats, and he called me Monday because there is some work that has to be done to the ramp. And that's when Stephen called me, I believe it was Monday.
You had told me about some
Yeah,
broken
some
welds
welding,
on the gangway.
Yeah,
So
Monday.
I contacted him to find out what the problems were, so I could show the state while they were there on site. It started in 2018.
You're right, though, putting it out, with, that short of a timeline when there's so much happening and, two fishing seasons are starting. People are already getting, getting ready to get their boats put in. I'm sure that there's already reservations with the companies that utilize that facility. I've done a lot of, work with, asphalt in the past, and, unless the weather's really cruddy, they can sort of bang this out fairly quick. Honestly, if the weather cooperates, they can have the work really, I figure, my guess is 3 weeks. And then they can do some of the other work, and hopefully have the ability to be able to utilize that, but they'll make that decision.
Can I say something on that? Because I did, so Susan Harrison, I'm the select board rep for this, amazing committee. What I would like to say is yes, we did find out the state, does what the state does, and I'm always happy when they're paying for what they do. So there is a silver lining on this. I do want to say that Jim, and Stephen and, DPW director met with the state and the contractor that has been selected to do the work on Monday. And they went through a schedule of, yes, it's like about 6 weeks, right, total. And their project plan has the closure toward the beginning when, they're tearing up the lot and everything. And they anticipated that within the first like 3 weeks, then we'd be able to get access, because they would like move things around such that, understanding that we're a water community and need to get boats in, we need to get our moorings serviced and whatnot, as well as the marinas need to get their floats in too. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. And we've worked with this contractor before, and Jim is confident that we can communicate and have opening times. And also have, toward the end, if, as I understand that project plan, toward the end of it, the latter 3 weeks, is a lot of lighting work, as well as, riprap gangways, and as well as, some of the paving. They said they're gonna pave in sections such that we will be able to use, the ramp, because it's very important that we are able to use the ramp there. That also being said, regarding safety, we plan, I don't know if you mentioned, because I've missed a little bit, we plan to have the boats in the water prior to this, the harbor master boats. And we could also, I don't know, this is also like, tell me what would help, right? What would mitigate this? We look to the waterways committee to like give us some great ideas. Like, is there any way we could get boats in earlier, utilizing our docks? I don't know. We talked about a shoulder season. Could we do it earlier? I don't know. This is just, I'm just trying to say it's like, it's important to get it fixed. And, we want to work with you all to figure out a way to get it fixed with the least amount of pain for everyone that uses it. I don't know if that helps at all.
I have to give the worst case scenario.
Oh, well, I don't.
Go ahead, Mike.
But it's not gonna be closed for 6 weeks, period.
Yeah, that's a big difference, what you just said, what you said.
I have
6
to give the
weeks.
worst case scenario.
But I
Okay,
don't-
got it.
Just,
So here.
I did say that if they finish up early, that it would open back up.
Yeah, okay. So this project's been, like you said, since 2018, we've been looking at this. What I was understanding was just resurfacing the parking lot, lights being fixed and some of the.
I was under
Yeah.
the impression it was just lights originally.
Right, so I thought this was like affecting people to be using the ramp. My problem is, not my problem, but your problem is that from May first, whatever the first week is there, through that whole period, that is the busiest time of the year for the haulers, right? These people are already scheduled out to launch boats, right, into the harbor, right, and I'm sure, I don't wanna put you on the spot, Jeff, but you guys are pretty much booked out already through May into June, right? And you have,
So I'm Jeff Perrette, 387 Main Street, Clinton. I'm the owner operator of Sims Brothers Marine.
I was actually gonna call you tomorrow.
Just in Scituate alone, I do 600 boats. So having to deal with the phone today was not enjoyable. Telling these people that, Santa Claus isn't coming this year, or he's gonna be late. So I would say there's at least 100 big boats that I cannot take any other place but Scituate. Scituate is our hub. So I cannot launch a 7-foot draft sailboat Cove Parkway. I can, but you're not gonna like to look at it.
Right, they're not gonna like to look.
So not to mention, we have fishermen down there. I have 5 trucks and I start stepping masts. I'm gonna take up that whole entire parking lot myself. So, I mean,
And
people that
and
know me,
yeah, he's one hauler of many. I'm just trying to point out the effect of this on stuff that's already scheduled for the season.
You could try to cancel it, but I don't know when the state would be back.
Oh,
You gotta-
I guess my
We're
suggestion.
not canceling it, we're not canceling this, but
My suggestion is merely like, I would never say cancel it, right? But is there a way to postpone it until after the
No,
season?
No.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because the state works on a fiscal year and they have to spend that money by the end of June.
June 30th.
June 30th. So we've already, I've had a call. I reached out to Susan and I talked with Jim today about, possibly pushing it off until the fall, but I already knew the answer. Really, they have to get that money spent in this fiscal year. And that's
Shoulder season's
700.
longer in the fall than it is in the, in the springtime.
Yeah.
And I think the total cost of this project is 750,000. Which Scituate is getting to get that improvement. So it's a terrible, terrible time. Mike,
What are they actually doing to the physical ramp? Are they actually doing any work down the ramp? So it's just the parking lot?
parking lot, That's what I've been told,
It's,
right?
I believe catch basins. It's along where the grass was, it's all kind of sunk down in, and then the riprap on the other side.
Mhm.
And then the lighting that rotted out fell down like 5 years ago. That I have removed before for somebody.
I have a question. So exactly what is the project plan? We're thrashing about here, but for $700,000, what is the project plan? Do we have any of the details? Why are we trying to deal with this with no details?
Well, I can tell you what the project.
I think we just sort of
Consists of.
stated that a little bit ago, Howie, about reclamation, repaving, rebuilding the riprap, some work on the dock, improve the lighting. I think those are the primaries. And then at some point, they'll have to also paint.
The line.
Well, that's my point. I think there'd be a specific outline of exactly
There
what
is.
they intend to do and how they're gonna do it. And for instance, did we ever finish connecting the sewer line for the pump out?
That is completely
Yes.
done. The
So we'll
electrical
be able-
in, National Grid is coming down. I got the approval from National Grid to hook the power up. And then, the electrician and Celco will be back to make the final connections down to the dock. The dock was put in place Friday,
And it is
so the rest of the work is done.
Is it water? Is that pump out?
No,
How do you do that?
how do you do
How do
what?
you porta potties and all that kind of stuff?
You stick the hose in with the tube and you suck it out, just the way you do it with a pump out boat. You don't have water on the pump out boat. Or ours doesn't.
I want to get back to Jeff,
Yeah.
right?
yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
I have a question too.
Please.
The other thought, well, the other question is. The majority of my customers, as soon as they get off our trailer, they tend to tie it to the dock. Now, I'm not a commercial fisherman, but I know someone here is, I don't think they're gonna appreciate having a 45-foot boat tied up along their private dock. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're willing to work with us, but.
Depends on how much beer you have.
Which dock is that?
I got the back ramp.
It's
If we launch it back.
privately owned.
What private dock?
If
Full parkway.
we were to launch, I think what Jeff's saying is, if we were to launch the back ramp, there's no way for us to.
I think that was smaller boats, you know, just
Well,
launch and go away.
anybody, even get, if he can launch a 35, that's, you know, that's pretty tight now. So he's saying,
You
he's
still have Cole Parkway Marina.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Launching there.
I'm saying you still have the Cole Parkway Marina to tie it to.
Okay, all right.
There'd be a little bit of a longer distance to get over to Cole Parkway Marina, but
I'm just trying to.
the Lobsterman's floats are gonna get inundated with people trying to go all over.
You've got 40 people setting traps.
Well, exactly, yeah, you've got all the traffic, and not to mention, I think, I even have a mooring stone or two down there. So,
They'll find it.
I've already been told if I don't get them moved, then I'm gonna be paying for people's props, so. Some mooring stones and stuff that have to get moved up there too.
so Stephen, you're gonna be able at low tide, try to at least clean up the Cole Parkway boat ramp and get some of the mooring
Most of the mooring stones are gone. The
Good.
mooring owners, the people that own those moorings would have to move those.
Yep.
I don't have the capability.
you know who they are, and you can call them and tell them to get them out.
Fran put his over by Jericho Road. Keith puts his over by Jericho Road. I believe David has had some mooring stones over there a few years ago. I don't know if you have any left.
I don't think I have it left, but I will drive down low tide. In the next 24 hours and make sure that I'm done.
I have another question, sorry. After 4 o'clock. Is it still closed?
It is.
Yeah, it'll be closed down. Yes, it will be closed down indefinitely. Well, not indefinitely, 24 hours a day. For those 3, 4, 5 weeks until the contractor is satisfied that the safety requirements are done, and then we will get the word out as quick as we can.
Because I know Green Harbor was closed 24 hours a day. But that only lasted till 4 o'clock with us. And then, sorry, Mike. But
Worked out.
we had to do, you know.
But that was like. Green Harbor, we kind of went through it last year as well, they kind of, the state sprung it on us here, we're happy to get a 700,000 plus project, but. I mean, Steve is right that the state just does what the state does, but the problem is, he's gonna be stuck managing it. But they should already have a project scheduled, that should be somewhere.
They do. Jim has
So
it.
that would be good to see that for people to see it, not that they're gonna stick to it, because it's not gonna be perfect.
It looks worse than it is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, totally, but like, the engineering drawing's gotta be somewhere, what actually is gonna happen there. But Steven's gonna have to work with the contractor on site, once the contractor shows up. The contractor owns the facility, not the state's off. The contractor owns it, and owns all the liability, but as Jeff said, you have to work with the contractor on site to say, look, can we bring in 10 boats on a Saturday using this side ramp? Can we do this on this day using this side ramp? It will work out. Green Harbor, we had 50 lobster boats to get in the water in May. And it wasn't fun, it wasn't pleasant, but it got done. Like, I already told Taylor Marina that, hey, there'll be a lot more boats coming to Green Harbor, so any boats that are hanging in the parking lot, get them in the water, because more boats are gonna be coming here. Painting the parking lot a month earlier in anticipation of more boats coming. Jeff's not gonna haul boats to Plymouth, that's probably not gonna happen, it's gonna be back float or Green Harbor, but. The coordination is gonna be daily.
Possibly Hingham,
Yeah,
depending on where
there's
he's
gonna be a lot of
getting the boat.
coordination and. It's not gonna be pleasant, I can tell you that, but once it's like paving the road, everybody complains, but once it's done, everybody's happy, but. The timing is absolutely horrible,
Yeah, it's
and
terrible.
it's gonna suck, I'm
Yep.
telling you right now.
Nick,
I don't know how much we anticipate using Cole Parkway. But I think we better put plans in place with barriers, where you're gonna put the trailers, parking, all of that ought to be put in place for Cole Parkway before the 28th. Signage is up, so everybody knows what's gonna hit over there, cause that's gonna be a mess.
I'll be in touch
5,
with
6
Mark
trailers,
Thompson.
huh?
I'll be in touch with Mark Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any more?
That's what I'm thinking about, because I mean, I know, I have XYZ amount of more involved, when Fran has XYZ amount of more involved, David has, there's 4 trailers right there, Monday through Friday, that are there all the time.
600 mooring buoys get on that ramp every spring. And gonna be tough for all using the back ramp.
A lot of headlamps out there at night.
And sometimes you can't even get a trailer parked over at the state ramp. All that boat traffic is gonna go maybe to Cole Parkway. Where you gonna put them?
Bunch of road work going on over there too.
What's that?
Brad,
Brad White, 149 Old Main. I've had a solid 36 hours to process this and think about it. And I'd like to give you a couple of different views on it. First, when they shut down, are they also shutting down the docks and the rampway?
Yes.
So there's no access to that. This is like having the World Series with no field. We got 2,000 boats in Scituate, I think. How many, Stephen?
Probably around 1,400.
1,400 boats launching at that ramp. And the cost of this, I spoke to a fellow today by the name of Mr. Count. He was the engineer that shepherded this along. So the estimate was $750,000. Scituate successfully bidded for $500,000. So there's a $250,000 gap there. This is a true hardship. We got to get over this. It's a true hardship. He hauls 600 boats. Others haul boats. Cod season opens, lobstering opens, fishing opens, the harbor opens. All shut down because we can't use the facility. So my recommendation is to change the program, and I'm going to share with you how I think you can do that. First, when I spoke to Mr. Count today, I said, how does Mr. Contractor, whoever that may be, set his PERT chart to figure all this out? I don't know. He doesn't even have his materials list yet. So what? You want to shut down next Monday and there's no materials list and no ETA of materials? We don't have that yet. The contractor's working on it. So we need to call him before tonight's Waterways meeting and get a definitive what the dates are. So then between that phone call at 2 o'clock until this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the date changed from the 14th of April closure to the 28th. It's still a hardship. What are you going to tell people that use their boats when that parking lot is filled? They can't park there. There's no place to park. My recommendation is we enlist our state rep and also Senator Markey and ask them to push this through as a hardship and push it to fall months. I spoke with Stephen yesterday. He indicated that the asphalt plants don't work in the fall, winter time. I don't know. I'm not an asphalt guy, but I'm certain that they work in September, October, November.
they do. They generally close down in early December, depending on how cold it is.
So even though there's a state budget, a cyclical budget, and people that are pushing paper in Boston saying they have to spend by June 15th, I heard June 15th, June 30th. There's got to be a workaround because it's a hardship. It's a hardship on people's professions. It's on their use of the harbor, safety for the harbor. Now, how many times do we see per year the harbor master boat come racing in with an emergency using that dock? It's going to be less evident. There'll be fewer instances in the fall for that. So my recommendation is we use the people that we voted for and tell them we have a hardship and ask them to push it over the goal line and do it in the fall and not screw all this up. I mean, who cares about sunken riprap stone? Not the big riprap, but the decorative stone. That stuff can wait. It really can. Where's he gonna put 600 boats? Could put him out of business. We don't want that. He's a skilled mariner that assists and works with this harbor. It makes it happen. And he needs that spatial planning to do his erection of masts, etc. I do that with a half a ramp because they're working on the other half. So Mike asked the question, what are they doing to the ramp? Nothing. The ramp's not being fixed. It's not broken. But all the accoutrements around it are getting tended to. Yes, they need that, but they don't need it in May and June. So my piece is that should be reconsidered. We talk to our state officials and say this is urgent and it is a hardship and see if we can get it delayed.
Thank you.
You bet.
Any other comments? Dave?
Dave Goffney, 356 Clap Road. So I did a little background
a couple of things. Fishing and boating access doesn't care about commercial activity. They're like, we turn our head to the commercial activity because the state ramp isn't built for that. And that was through that process that I went through about reorganizing the boat ramp and stuff like that, and it's in the black and white. So that's, we can vent that, but it doesn't, to fishing and boating access, they don't hear it. This, the bid was put out on 1/22/25, and it's disgusting to even think that this department didn't reach out to our town or our harbor master or our waterways with a pending project. You know, for 7 years it lay dormant, and then in one day it's gonna happen. It's unacceptable. You wouldn't shut down an expressway to pave the bridge, and there's gotta be a way. But what we don't know how this is all gonna work. You could do half the parking lot and leave the ramp open, do the other half of the parking lot, leave the ramp open. I don't know, there's gotta be a way to work around this, but to close it for 6 weeks is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable putting the commercial activity that goes down there for the recreational boater that wants to get his boat in the water. And we've had Doug Cameron down there, and we walked around that lot a couple of years ago. You know, and I don't understand how this works, and I've read 3 pieces of paper that list out 3 different types of projects, from replacing drainage, culverts, catch basins, paving, seawall. I don't see anything posted in the conservation agent's office as to the activity.
They were down there on Monday as well.
You know, I'm just. The problem is festering faster than we can understand it, I guess would be the best way, but the project overview, there hasn't been a pre-construction thing, it's just like, yeah, we're coming in and we're gonna do this and we're leaving. Suck it up.
The pre-construction meeting with Concom was on Monday.
But you didn't, but no one knew about this until Monday.
No,
They called up Monday and said, we need a meeting.
no, they sent out an email saying there was gonna be a meeting.
Right.
Monday.
But that wasn't like months ago, it was
No, it was
days ago.
probably a week and a half ago.
Well, I understand what Mr. DeMayo was saying, that, you know, they own the project as the contractor, right? But perhaps there's some way to work with them to say, hey, if it's just milling of the lot, right? And I can't imagine that takes more than a day for them to do, and then they can open it back up, right, until they come into, you know, then they're gonna raise the grates, so they're gonna shut off a section of it where they raised.
I suggested
Raised
that
up.
at the meeting.
Yeah.
You know, they did one side and then the other.
Yeah, I just have to think that it's not a huge scope that they really have there. They're not touching the ramp like we talked about, right? So
Right, and
can we get some sort of common ground with them on a work plan, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we need. Can we work out the schedule so that we have an understanding when it will be available for launching, and then try to work around that? And I think that's probably.
I know Jim's been on the phone with fishing and boating
That's
access.
exactly what we're
He's
trying to
been-
do
Yeah.
He's been working,
and understand.
I've been on the phone with them. We're trying to get it, so we're trying to get something to work. But
Right, the message.
Or the minimal
we wanna-
impact.
we wanna
Trying to
eventually
minimize the
send-
impact.
send out the original different dates.
Yeah.
You know, like best case scenario, and the state's like, no, we're more comfortable with worst case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, like Brad said, I'd like to see this thing pushed off, but if that's not feasible and we would lose the money for that, then we need to work with them. And maybe the message to the boating community is really, hey, this has just sprung up on us on Monday of this week, right? We have a lot to figure out on some workaround plan. We will update you once we work with the contractors on scheduled availability of the land, because there's gonna have to be some sort of schedule that we can kind of lay out.
They
It may be
all have- they
fluid as
always
it
have a
goes,
schedule.
but to,
The schedule that I saw looks pretty awful. It shows the last 2 weeks of the project in June.
yeah, Of paving, you said?
Paving.
Paving that lot should, to me, is one.
No, I understand, but that's-
That's where they
that's-
explain they can move things around.
I think your point you missed is, I've been through this, not bragging, it ain't fun. The contractor gets the bid and he has till June 15th to get it done. He's gonna finish when he has to, June 14th.
Right.
Happened to me last year, Memorial Day weekend. They were there till the last day. Jeff knows, everyone else knows in Green Armor. I dealt with it, it ain't gonna be fun. You just hope you have a contractor that's willing to work with the community, to open up one side of the ramp on certain times of day. You're gonna have to.
I did speak with Jim earlier today and, he is going to try to, he knows the contractor like,
It's someone we've worked
Susan was saying.
before and he's very confident that they will help us.
try to be accommodating as
Be
best they can.
accommodating. Yes, I actually wanted a question. I know you all spoke about 600 launches and 100 that you couldn't take anywhere else.
I do 1,000 boats.
Or, okay, I'm sorry, for Scituate Harbor.
Situate's about 550 to 600.
So which, I guess I'm even more concerned about the ones you said you can't take anywhere else. Is there any sort of solution, like putting them in earlier, or if you could do them in,
I already have boats.
you already have the plans for that?
They were calling today, we start Monday. We start launching Monday.
They've already called me for their mooring to Vienna, they probably called Fran, they called Keith, they called David. They have their mooring in.
Oh, to try to get the mooring in early so
Yeah.
they can get the larger boats in.
No,
early.
just,
Oh.
we've already gotten called, I get calls in January, February.
Right,
Hey, Jeff's only got 3 dates, can you get my mooring in by X, Y, Z?
okay.
I'm just curious, I mean, what everyone's saying, David, Michael. Mr. White, there has to be some type of compromise. I mean, we can all work together and figure it out. And maybe, I
think that's what Jim's trying to work on.
Who is Jim?
Jim Boudreau is the town administrator.
Okay.
We tend to, we know how to back up trucks and trailers, it's what we're good at. So we don't take up that much time in the ramp.
Oh, I know, yeah.
We get in our truck, get on the ramp, we unload them and we're out. Versus, the average recreational boater that only backs his boat in once, twice a year.
Maybe.
If that, they are completely, somehow they're facing the wrong direction going down the ramp, which we still
That's me.
don't know how to represent that. But,
They fall off on the ramp.
so if there was the ability to keep half the ramp open for the commercial guys.
Yeah.
Now, this is just me. There's 4 other haulers that use that ramp.
You're gonna try to send some of your stuff to Green Harbor or Hingham?
So Hingham it's a lose-lose. That fills in with every storm. We might be able to get a center console, a 25-foot center console in Hingham.
But
Green Harbor is great,
Yeah.
but the problem is the route we take. It's, we look forward, but we also look up. So the problem with Green Harbor is we take 139. We go through, Brant Rock. All those summer homes, they all have low wires. So I will wipe out from the gas station all the way to Haddad's with the big stuff. That's why we don't use that.
Yeah.
Situate, we know the route. We've been running this route for the last 20, 30 years. So we know where every branch is, every wire, not to mention, damage we're gonna do these people boats with the unknown. But like I said, there's some big boats around town, big sailboats, we have to run a certain route. And unfortunately, we can't go to Cohasset. We can't go to Plymouth or, Duxbury for that matter, Scituate has the best ramp and it has the best accommodating routes for us,
Well, I think it's proven too. It's not, you're not halfway down or 3/4 of the way down the road and you gotta back out of it because of the.
Bridge.
Yeah, where'd that bridge come from?
Well, I hope, Stephen, you can continue working with Jim and try to find the best solution to try to, minimize, the disruptions, number one. But number two, you need to communicate with, a lot of these folks so that everybody's aware of what's happening as best.
Like I said, I was trying to get a letter out and I was waiting for the final approval and the final dates.
Yeah, and
I couldn't
and-
send, and as soon as I got it.
And you
You
were
went
right
right
on and I will tell you that he was right on with me Monday. As soon as things were happening, he was already talking, trying to figure things out.
All Manning 64 Moreland, I would say what I'm hearing is the old adage from my years in information technology. Poor planning on your part should not constitute an emergency for us. Somebody needs to tell the state, hey, we appreciate it, but a little lead time and a lot of flexibility is the only way this is gonna work.
That's what we're working on.
One more. Brad White, Old Main Marshfield. A lot of people are talking about that back ramp on Cole Parkway. So let's talk about what that is. There's no dock, there's no easy access on or off from mom or dad. And it's probably a maximum of 17 foot allowed on a boat because you can't turn in there at any mid to low tide. And it could be dangerous. It's slick. Parking's tight with trailers back there with all the merchants in downtown Scituate. So I would call that like an emergency ramp, not a daily user. Because that's not what it was meant for. And it would be very difficult for people to put a 20-foot, 25-foot boat in it.
Dave,
Dave Duffy, 356 Clark Road. So two things. One is the last time they did the ramp over Cole Parkway and the North River were absolutely destroyed by the actions taken by the boaters, either on or off the boats. And that was, I don't know, it was, I forget when it was when they redid the actual ramp itself. I probably have it in here, but. So, which never, it created that whole situation on the driftway ramp with the pillars and the rocks and the no parking and the conservation agent and Brad, you and I remember that.
SaveOurRamp.com.
Yeah, there you go. And then the Cole Parkway one, there's at least a foot to a foot and a half drop at the end of the ramp, which you can't get to. You can't get the boat off unless you get past that. So that's it. I would not recommend the use of either one of those two ramps, but that's just my opinion on that. And the land agreement that we have that's signed by the state and the town for that Jericho boat ramp. It says that the department shall undertake any repairs, replacement, reconstructions made reasonably necessary by the effects of weather and normal public usage. The timing and said repairs, construction, reconstruction shall depend upon budget restrictions and the appropriations of adequate funds by the Massachusetts legislature. So there's an agreement between the town and Fishing and Boating Access. And it probably should be reread to make sure that everybody's falling in line with that. Again, this is. Yeah.
understand.
I'll leave it
So,
there.
Stephen,
Anybody else?
again, the best that, any information and, if you can communicate with everybody as best you can, that's great.
Steve, on the available ramps, I think you missed Ridge Road boat ramp. Doesn't help Jeff with the big boats, but there's a lot of small boats that can launch at Ridge Road. Something.
Yeah, we put the state ramps on the list. I don't know, is that a state ramp or, I just put
It's a ramp that
state
people
ramps.
could use. We're not gonna sit there and collect $10.
Yeah.
At the Marshfield Yacht Club ramp.
No, it's not a Marshall.
Next to
It's next
the
to it, though, right?
Yacht Club thinks it's still there.
Well, Mike, it's an opportunity to raise some funds.
I'm loving
Is
this.
Mr. Bowman on board with helping out in this?
Mr. Who?
Like,
There's a ramp.
he has a ramp right there. And I launch his 48 Viking, whatever he had.
I haven't heard from him, and the other thing I was thinking is,
I know it's privately owned, but I didn't know
Yeah,
if it'd be accommodating.
I just sent him a message today regarding this. So I'll reach out to him. I didn't know he, I don't go down there. I think it's a pretty good ramp.
is that the one on the river?
No, that's the one in the
Oh, he's got a ramp
Oh,
there.
in the harbor?
Yes.
The old water.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, that's high tide only and that's.
Now,
But it
You'd
beats
be pressed.
taking out
You'd be,
trees and bridges for me.
yeah, you'd be, I think, oh, yeah, you can probably get a picture of that one.
The other
squeeze
thing,
Brad's pipe, we'll put some towels between the riprap, you'll be fine.
I could reach out to Matt now.
and Jeff, the only other thing I was thinking about is whether or not you could work out a deal with Road. They've got two ramps. You got to deal with the Marshfield side, where you got that hill coming down to that ramp, but it's a good ramp,
Very high current.
high current.
Yeah, very, very tough getting on.
Yep.
Not for beginners.
That's
Not for
true,
sailboats either.
but
No,
yeah, it's. Okay,
All right,
Dave, just, David,
yes,
just one quick question again. I just want to make sure I understood properly. So this project has been reviewed by Concom?
Concom was out there going over the project, Monday.
And all the permitting's in place for this project?
They have all the permits, yeah.
Because I don't see any meeting on Concom to discuss this.
I don't know, they said they have their permits, so.
Do we have any idea when Jim is gonna come to any agreement with the contractor on what
He's working on it. This is a very fluid situation right now.
okay. So I'm just trying to like for Jeff and the other commercial
I think
haulers,
it's
like
a
when we
very,
can,
just a
when we can
fluid
give him an
situation right
update.
now. It's on the phone with them all day long today.
okay. Keep us up to date as much as you can, please. Okay, what else is on the harbor master report?
Sinkhole. We discovered a sinkhole, or we were notified it was what a resident thought was a sinkhole. It was right outside by the picnic tables. I went out and looked. We weren't sure if just it was a couple of missing bricks, but it turned out that the bricks are missing because they went into a sinkhole that is under the sidewalk.
Yep.
I reached out to engineering at town hall, DPW. They came down, they looked at it. They came back, we put a cone there, keep people safe. They came back with red dye.
It's going.
Put it in the ground, to put it in the hole to find out where it was coming out. And it was coming out along the seawall, along the cracks and underneath. Couple of years ago, there was a repair made to they call them tiles, the pieces of cement, and where they're cracked. And there was also some, material missing from there. They filled it in, paved it up, with new cement. But I am working with DPW, with Kevin Cafferty and Sean McCarthy, to get this rectified and as quickly and safely as possible.
So I would assume that's probably a waterways deal, or is who's gonna pay for something like that?
I don't know, we're gonna get it fixed.
We don't have an estimate yet either.
Yeah.
For sure.
So is that
I imagine it. Waterways.
If it's a park, the walkway in the parking lot?
Sidewalk along the
It's the
seawall.
seawall.
DPW, yeah.
yeah, it would be, I think it would be DPW.
We'll get an estimate and figure that out.
Yeah, we dealt with this a couple of years ago with the railings, remember? We had to do a deep dive into whose responsibility it was. Railings came back to be.
Just wanna let you know that we're
Yeah.
working on it to rectify the situation. We're working with DPW.
Yep.
Plan it lands on is, let's see. Invoices. So we sent out all our invoices, we mailed out all our invoices as normal. We've gotten some people coming in, pay, you get, as soon as you send them out, you immediately get, a lot of people come in right away to pay, and it tapers off. And then I send out the reminder, that went out this morning. Dated with people today. And I'm sure it'll taper off again. Want to let everybody know. If you're late, there's nothing I can do. You show up on, April 16th, it's over.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I have to call you. And it's the worst job I have is telling people that we've given their slip away or their mooring away. We had an issue years ago where we're in litigation for several years, it's still going on, but it's moving in the right direction now. So pay your bills. It's not that much interest you're gonna get in the bank. Go on down and pay it. We'd love to have you.
What else?
What else?
What about the piling project?
The pile project, we put it out to bid. We found a contractor. The bonds came in today. They're hoping to have the work done by the middle to the 20th of April. Get those 7 piles moved. That'd be great. Be good for Fran, good for a couple of spots, the marina. So
In the next
That's
month,
good.
maybe?
April 20th is we're hoping we have it completed.
Very good. Thank you.
And what's the cost of this?
Cost of that is $39,000. 39,000, just short of $40,000.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, I was contacted by the Army Corps of Engineer. I'm meeting with them to go out and look at the jetty.
Great.
All right,
When's that?
having a meeting with them either tomorrow or the next day. Just depends on what the weather's looking like, is the email I received.
Very good. That's good news.
Yeah.
I got a couple other things that I've found out through Mike Pierce. The marina is sold out for the season. That's good news.
Always sells out.
There are 4 interns that are going to be starting in the spring from South Shore Voc Tech. The Harbor Master Office has applied for a state grant for a pump out. A pump out grant between 11,000 and 16,000. Today the kayak lottery was held.
What pump out grant?
That's Mike.
No, that's just we submit our pump out reimbursement.
Reimbursement, okay.
Yeah, not a grant. Well,
Oh,
it's every year,
yep, he mentioned every year, so it's a reimbursement.
reimbursement.
So he got, that's out there.
Yeah.
The kayak ramp, rack lottery, I guess, was today.
Yeah.
Which is great.
We ordered 2 additional kayak racks that were having made by the Voc Tech.
Yep.
They came in substantially less than any of the welding companies that are in the area. Mike's son works at the Voc Tech and he's in the welding department. So
Yeah, that's great. I heard the prices, very reasonable for a couple more racks.
Yeah. You're paying for the materials only.
Yep. And I guess you guys gotta figure out where you're gonna put them, which would be pretty neat. Has the town sent a letter of thanks to the Dunbar family for the donation?
I'm gonna invite them down when the boat comes in.
Oh, great. Okay,
And the
thank you.
town, actually,
Yeah,
the select
I
board
mean, they
did
were at
send,
the select board meeting and we sent them.
they sent them
When we accepted the donation.
the donation, but I'm going, my
And
plan
there,
is to invite
the
them
whole
down.
family was there, yes.
That'd be great, thank you.
Dave,
yes.
before you go on the kayak ramp, you said the lotteries commenced. How is that being advertised to the public?
It's on our site. People call all year long and they come down, tear off a little lottery ticket and they put it in the drop box. We had tons of them.
That good, Howie?
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see, is that, opens from.
We painted the building
Oh, that's
inside.
right, the interior,
Yep, little lipstick,
good.
carpets and flooring and got rid of the red couches from, I don't know what. They were probably old when you were there.
I think Mike Gibbons took them and he put them in his basement.
Yeah, I wouldn't want those things, yeah. They could tell a lot of stories.
Even though they were red, when we brought them outside, they had like this green film on them, it was pretty gross.
You should try cleaning once in a while in there.
Why didn't we donate them to the Smithsonian?
They didn't want them?
And I would assume that there's no updates on our dredging permits.
No, we're still waiting on the court. And we did, however, put in a amendment to the grant. Could we will probably go before June 30th.
Mhm.
So we have to get an amendment for the grant.
And no updates regarding permitting for the north and south rivers. I know there's been some discussion with what happened with town meeting in Marshfield.
I'll just say that there's a battle going on, so
Okay, so it's still,
we're not going away quiet, so that's all I can say.
go get him, Mike.
Sounds like litigation.
I didn't say that,
Nope, he didn't.
I didn't say have to dig through it,
Um,
did I? Oh, I must have.
that's good. Well, okay, anything for the harbor master, anybody?
We actually have 3 interns from Norwell and 1 from Scituate as well. They're already started. They've been cleaning up around the building and
So you guys working on the
covering
de-icers?
boats and fresh washing de-icers, putting those away for the season. They were used quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
First time in 5 years, I think we really even had to put on. My electric bill shows. It was a bad year for it because electric rates are way up.
Yes, Brian was yelling at me the other day about it. Any other comments for Stephen? Okay, thank you, Stephen. Financial update. Brian, we do want to talk about hey, Brian Kelly, we want to talk a little bit about our working group update, our 5-year plan, please?
Sure, especially since the other Dave is not here, we can certainly keep this short because we like to keep it nice and long and torment him when he's here. So that being said, we've been working closely, we being Nancy Holt, Stephen, members of the working group, other members of the waterways, and compiling all the data that's necessary. We've taken all of the expense information and was able to dissect it all and assign it to appropriate stakeholders, a percentage. We've almost completed all of that, at which point we'll be able to figure out the revenue, rather the expense contribution to the OpEx, as well as the long-term debt for stakeholders in the town marinas, in the moorings, as well as the rest of the general public who pay waterways use fee. So it's a rather large project. Once we've completed that, we'll overlay the 3 major capital projects that are on Stevens, or actually 2, since one was approved at the spring meeting last year and is sitting and waiting. However, we'll run those numbers out, working with Nancy and the DOR long-term credit facility, and understand what the impact is at which point we'll be able to figure out a recommendation for the 5-year plan and the fee structure. Obviously, we're targeting being able to provide the entire waterways community as well as the attendees at the next meeting. Let's see, next meeting, yep. The first iteration of this. Thereafter, we will invite public, well, that will be your job, Dave, but to invite the public in for comments at the July, and if we do have an August meeting, and then be able to present to the select board in September, as we have discussed.
That is correct. Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions on where we are with our plan? We're trying to get back in front of the select board with our 5-year plan for September. That's I think what we came up with, our Susan.
Yep.
So we'll get that squared away.
David?
Yes, sir.
Just one other quick bit of information. Working with Nancy on Monday, I pulled year-to-date expenses and revenue. I went over it with Stephen on yesterday. And right now we're about 80% on the expense spend, so we should be obviously below our number. On a revenue side, we're at 56%, but as we all know, it's a hockey stick where all the monies will now start flowing in between April 15th and the end of May. And there's also about a 10-day business day lag time between when someone pays and it finally gets reported into the Munis system. So my numbers that I'm looking at right now, which were printed out at 10:30 on Monday, are probably about 10 days old. So As I said, we're sitting at about 56% of revenue, but all projections and discussions I've had, it looks like we will exceed our revenue budgets. That's all I have.
Good stuff. Thank you. Any questions for Brian? Okay, item B on financial update, working committee was working on a shoulder season and trying to get that organized. Brian, you want to talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so Dave, Mike Gibbons, Brian Kelly, and myself, with input from Mike Beers, have been looking into opening up the marina early to help the boaters out and also to increase some revenue. So we looked into the insurance, and that doesn't prohibit it. So we want to the waterways. We want to present it to waterways, and hopefully we can get a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to, like I said, increase revenue. But it sounds like this spring we could use it if we can get some boats in early while the ramp is still open, so people can, avoid the ramp closure. So it might be just a win-win in this spring. So and we were looking at opening up Cole Parkway and not the Maritime Center, just for ease of managing the whole thing with for the harbor master. So
Wait, not yet. Pricing.
$15 per day per boat. So we're looking at.
Yep, which would, if it was a week, it would be $105.
Yep. So very reasonably priced to start off, see how it goes.
Yep.
Wait, did you say $15 per day for one boat,
Yes,
no matter what the length is?
yes.
I suggested 50 cents a foot.
How? I guess,
How does that compare with the Millwall?
We
also open early.
One
do
fifth,
they go per boat?
1/5,
That's 1/5 of it?
$350 per foot per week.
Why aren't we doing a per foot?
We looked at it, trying to keep it simple for the first year as we try to understand if it's something that's going to work well. In terms of the private guys, we don't really worry about the private guys. We're just sort of thinking about ourselves.
If we use that, easier, but, if it's 50 cents a foot. Comes out to about the same, depending on the size of the boat, but if you're a bigger boat. And then you charge for your electricity, because somebody's leaving their bigger boat in the water, they're gonna have the heat running and battery charges and everything else.
They're probably more likely to have it plugged in than heated. So this seems like a great deal if you have a big boat, but you're kind of
Stuck if you're
not
little.
getting a good deal if you have a smaller boat, which is like opposite of how we want to make things accessible. So I guess I'm struggling to see how this is. I don't know.
So we have
I
no
would see the exact opposite, so maybe someone can explain to me.
I think that's low. Compared to some places, Millwall is a prime example, right next door. And they're gonna be charging 3 times the amount of Cole Parkway.
They do now.
But they charge by the foot.
$350 per foot per week.
Somebody told me it was $1 a foot, that's why,
So your recommendation is 50, I'm sorry, 50
Well, it
cents,
was when
50
I
cents.
didn't realize they were $3.50 a foot.
I know that the shoulder season Falmouth charges $1 a foot.
$1 a foot.
Yeah, per day.
Per day, yeah. 30-foot boat, $30.
Yeah,
25-foot boat, $25.
yeah.
It's easy, and I can set it up in Docwa. And they check in and
We can assign it to the slip and just simplifies everything.
We pay more for that one, to do that?
Huh?
Is there an extra charge of?
There's still there's still a charge, but it's still worth it. Just for management's, alone.
I know if for Falmouth, for example, you pay the fee, it's $1 a foot, well,
Yeah.
it's not $35 for my boat, it's 35, it's $38.
30.
So I'm paying the fee, I don't know if they pay a fee as well.
I believe they do dock as well.
Yeah, no, they do to talk,
We're all the same.
but I don't know if you can put the fee on them.
I think it may already be on that.
So your
I think we
recommend,
pay the fee for the credit card. And they may charge the boater another fee. But they get that on both.
good
Trust
business
me.
to be in. So what, Stephen, then what's your recommendation?
Well, if they're $3.50 a foot, even at $1 a foot, it's a great deal.
$1 a foot a day.
$1 a foot a day.
And then what's your recommendation on date? Like what would early be? What would late be?
It'd be October
I feel like
6th,
we need like 3 or 4 points, get it to the
Well,
select board.
October
Yes,
16th
let's
to
go.
October 16th to November 16th,
October 16th to November 16th.
or November 15th,
And, yep. And we were talking, May 1 to May 14.
May 1 to May 14th.
because it opens on the 15th.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it
Should-
closes on the 15th.
But I mean, this year, because we're starting.
You earlier.
Yeah, I would say your regular shoulder season starting next year would be April 15th to May 14th. But this year, because we're at April 2nd now, we thought that May 1st, but just to get it through just get it through the select board.
Maybe next week, like, I guess we've got a kind of a window here. We have all this stuff going on with the ramp. We've got, like, it
the
actually
motion.
would be a benefit if we
Motion
could
to
get boats
15,
in earlier, right?
So
Is
that,
that right?
I can feel it probably.
Yeah, so like, why not use this opportunity if people want to get in early? The select board meeting.
$1 a foot.
Well,
And-
just to, I mean, on the date, we met on Monday. Dave wasn't aware that we had a ramp closure issue, so we were just trying to ease into this. So Stephen can get his staff together and they could manage it. So now that there's a sense of urgency,
You just switch Aqua so that I can collect the fees for the town pier. All they have to do is, once the town pier is done, have Aqua go in and change the rates. From this date to this date to $1 a foot.
So Stephen's saying he can do it.
and you're good,
Like
personnel wise,
Yeah, we're there
Ready to
Monday
go.
through Friday,
Yeah.
8 to 4. We
Yep.
don't have to be there to hold people's hands on the weekends.
Yep.
Or at night.
okay,
When people start showing up on the weekend.
Can I clarify, you said $1 per foot per day or per week?
Per day,
Per day, so 40-foot boat would be
$40 a
week.
day,
$40
$40 a day
Okay,
times
just $1 a
7
day.
days.
I was trying to clarify, you said $1 a week.
No, $1
$1 a day.
per foot per
Per day.
day. So a
Get that?
30-foot boat, I said,
Get
would be
the motion?
$30 a day.
okay. I'm sorry, Paul.
2 days and $60. So.
Question,
Yes, sir.
Brad White,
No, no.
Brian, how many slips are
For
there
electric.
available? Do they have power and?
They all have power. There's 174.
Can I reserve all those tonight?
Get on.
Yes,
This is a really
Are
great,
you afraid to check now?
You heard it here.
after the motion.
this is a really great program because it's never happened here and other harbors clamor because everybody has done them on.
Yes.
Right.
October 15th and wants to go in early in April.
Yep.
So I bet that those will sell out
Oh, yeah.
and it needs to be advertised.
And we've talked about advertising and marketing, one, and number two, we did check in with, Mill Wharf, with opening up their fueling dock.
Right.
And that'll be, that should be opening up in the next week or so.
Said by the 11th of
The
April.
11th.
So, you have, a-
okay, just one, if Stephen, if you think you can handle the volume, I would say it's up to you to open up, the Maritime Center.
All we're gonna do is say, you go in, all the slips are numbered. Go in and tie up.
Yeah. So both marine.
so both marines.
No. Just do
Just the
this
one?
side, because it's
For this
all
one.
marked up.
Okay,
Okay.
It was our suggestion if somebody who was a slip holder at the Maritime Center, if they wanted to come in early, you just charge them for their slip.
If the fingers are in place.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Fingers, you know,
that's not all
we
built
still
out yet.
have, Michael Brandon still over there. And we still have, the recreation floats are still in place because the 420s, there's the high school sailing out of there.
Sailing.
And, Mercury float, you know. that
Just you
gets-
say you're not ready then, okay,
So stick with, Cole
There's
Parkway.
more
just Cole
to it
Park,
than
okay,
just,
yeah,
we're
okay.
not ready.
Okay, we're prepared. So this is good. We had this discussion. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Stephen. Is there a motion?
Actually, a question? Two questions from the audience.
Oh, boy. Yes, sir.
So it was difficult to hear, but I think that you're saying $1 a foot. Is that where we're landing right now? A day?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
So hold on for a minute. Hold on. So that's more than we charge in season for somebody who's a member, or rather is a slip holder in one of those two marinas. So we're charging more in April, May than we would in July. Am I hearing that right?
We're opening up to everybody, not just the marina holder.
I got that, Stephen. What I'm saying is, we're gonna charge your patrons to come in early more out of season than in season. Ethically, I think that's wrong. I don't know, I think that's price gouging and taking advantage of the situation, but you guys do what you want. The blowback is gonna come to you, not me.
Howie.
I'm concerned why we're just doing this for Cole Parkway and not the Maritime Center. I object to having it on one side, not all the availability of the Situate marinas.
Well, the Scituate Marina's shoulder season for the fall will be for both marinas. Right now, the Maritime Center is not ready for boats.
Make a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
I know we're all about making money, but like. The town could make a win-win here by not charging people to the next month or so with the ramp closing. I think it's a good segregation, like, hey, the ramp's closing, however. The town has stepped up and took the leadership role to give free docking while the ramp is closed. Like, how much money are you really losing in $1 a foot for 30 boats? Like, it's more of a headache for Steve to manage 30 boats and the 10 other ones that sneak in somewhere else, like. Be positive,
I
man.
mean, then you
Like-
don't have an agreement, like,
Yeah.
not while you're.
Yeah, we still did your paperwork and show insurance, but like,
Otherwise.
to charge them by $30 for a 30-footer for a week, I mean, for a day, I mean. I think you're crazy, chasing people,
It
man.
could be.
Call me crazy, that's just me. Everyone else other comments.
I would add,
Get ahead of it, get ahead of it. I mean,
Paul Manning with us, 64 Moreland. I would add that if we're gonna do it this year, it would make sense to start it on the 15th of April if they're actually closing the ramp on the 28th.
Yeah, no, we're doing the 15th of April, so.
I have to find out when scallop season closes. Because there may be some fishing boats on the ends of those docks. The scallopers are coming up here. They've already asked. And we set them up to tie up at the town pier and at Cole Parkway if necessary.
But
We charge them. It's not free.
no, but couldn't you just, I mean, you could,
If I have 170 people all of a sudden show up,
well, then, no, they'd have to make a reservation through Dockware and then you have to accept the reservation. So, I mean, it has to be managed, but,
if all of a sudden it's free, I'm gonna have
well,
a
I hear you on the trying to, but I think you need some, you need some kind of agreement. There needs to be something with the town. I'm not sure we can do free. Liability.
Marina patrons.
Yeah, but this would be
So-
not just for the marina patrons, as I understand it, right? It would be whoever goes in and reserves it, so we solve other problems, like
Yes.
other problems that we have. Including, folks trying to launch boats.
and go to 50 cents a day.
Just-
Or go back to $15 a day. I mean, just so you have an agreement through
But again,
Dockware.
you're penalizing the guy with a 20-foot boat.
It's
and
aggressive,
The guy with
yes.
a 40-foot boat is getting the ball, in the bonus.
How much is the summer rate, Brian?
$121 a foot. And then $170 a foot, depends on whether you're in town or out of town.
At $121 a foot, it's $605 a month, $151 a week. So for a 25 footer, that's less than $1 a day.
And that's at 121 or 170?
That's a 121. Not, Stephen, 86% of your voters in the community are 121.
I'm just a question, I wasn't, I didn't quite hear at the beginning what you said.
What's the daily rate in the summertime on?
$3 a foot.
Sorry, what?
$3 a foot
Okay,
plus
$3 a foot.
electricity.
Yeah.
$10 for 30 amps, $15 for 50 amps.
Okay, yeah.
Per day.
$3. Yeah.
So $1 is 66% off, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
$1 is 66% off.
Well, but that's for the transients and not for the patrons.
No, transients is $3 a foot.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, Mike does have a good point about the hardship of the ramp being closer. Do you want to do a discount for this spring and then pick it up to $1 a foot in the fall?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Steve, come on, I want a recommendation.
No, because you're just gonna, no matter what I say, it's the wrong thing. So.
I just think you're already in a bad position because of what's happening with the ramp, right? So,
Come on top, man.
so you take the opportunity to say, hey, listen, we'll do something here.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, I'm just
How's that?
thinking, like you said, it may be an olive branch to extend to say, hey, in order to help this, we're offering this at this reduced price and try to make lemonade out of it, so. I honestly don't think you're gonna get more than 30.
I don't either.
30
I don't either.
votes.
It's, but I like having the agreement. How about 50 cents a foot in spring and $1 a foot in fall?
Fine with me.
But here 50 cents in spring and 75 in the fall.
I just want to get to a decision so that there's an option for people.
We will have, yep, we're almost
And
there.
that there's an easy way to do paperwork through DocWalk, is how I'm hearing that.
50.
Yes.
And then for the marketing, it's normally going to be the $1.
Okay, so a motion, Waterways Commission recommends to the select board that the Harbor Master Department open Cole Parkway Marina to accommodate boaters during the shoulder seasons by extending the marina operating in the spring and the fall. Proposed schedule in the spring is April 15th to May 14th, and the fall, October 15th to November 15th. Spring rates would be 50 cents a foot.
This year,
Per day.
and then going forward, they'd be $1 a foot,
I'm gonna warm up my trucks.
both spring and fall.
This year only. Okay, and then we're going to
Going forward, $1
a buck a foot?
Yep.
After that, okay. And then electrical hookup is, what is it, 10 and 15 bucks?
For what? Per day.
10 is for 50,
15,
15?
for, 50 is 30. 50 amps is $15.
And that's per day, okay.
Does DocWalk charge a percentage or is it fee?
There's a fee. And it's a fee to the boater. I don't have.
Before you start
hold on.
charging
Well-
50 cents are free, it might get kind of expensive with DocWalk.
Well, before we get into the discussion, we're working on the motion. Let's get the motion down, then get the motion on the table, then we'll have discussion. So are you finished with the motion? And I see you, Howie.
Yeah, that's the motion.
Does anybody need the motion reread?
Yes. Please. Also,
Thank
TJ's got a question as well.
Thank you, TJ.
Okay, Waterways recommends to the select board that we open Cole Parkway to Marina. In the shoulder season, this is the abbreviated version of the motion. April 15th to May 14th, 2025, in the fall, October 15th to November 15th, 2025. Rate, the spring rate this year only, 50 cents a foot. the fall and then going forward to the fall is $1 a foot per day. 15 amp tie up, 15 amp is $10 and 50 amp is $15 per day. Correct?
Yes.
Instead of 15, yeah,
That-
30.
30.
30 and 50.
Okay, that's a motion. Can I get a second?
Sure. I'll do it.
Very good. Thank you, Stephen.
You guys want this?
Discussion. TJ,
Yeah, I may have missed this when Stephen was kind of talking about the logistics. So just want to clarify that this shoulder season rate is only effective, for example, from 15 April to May 15th, and beyond that. Go ahead, Stephen. Sorry.
May 14th, because the marina opens on the 15th, so I can't have
Gotcha.
somebody in your slip.
That was my question. Perfect. All right. I just want to make sure that your staff isn't having to move people around as the patrons come in for their
Get the-
scheduled launch. Awesome. Cool.
Go.
Thank you.
thanks, TJ. Holly,
you.
do you have a question? Holly,
Yeah, let me go back to what I said earlier, about that we're only doing this for Cole Parkway. I understand why we may be limited for the spring opening. However, for the fall, I don't see what the prohibition would be. So people that want to take advantage from the Marine Park side would, I guess, have to move their boat over to Cole Parkway. It doesn't seem, and in my situation, it doesn't seem practical. I'd like
No.
to be able to use the entire complex by the fall.
no, the Maritime Center, that will be open, for the fall, shoulder season.
Oh, thank you.
Again, we just can't, Harbor Master just has not had the opportunity to finalize, the marina side, over on the Maritime Center, with, all sorts of floats and, I guess a boat over there. So, this fall, yes, it will be available to the patrons.
Thank you.
Questions? It's an odd look. He's thinking. Uh-oh. No more questions. I'll do a roll call vote. Brian Cronin,
Aye.
Brian Kelly,
Yes.
Howie,
Yes,
TJ,
Yes.
Stephen,
Sure.
David, yes, it passes. Thank you, and thanks hope this is good. We'll try to market this and we'll get you a letter sent. Susan, when's the next meeting?
Tuesday.
Oh,
I'm gonna call tomorrow morning and make sure we have it on the agenda.
okay.
Should not take long.
Okay, oh, thanks, that's good. I just want to let everybody know that the working group has really been trying to come together and do some good work, and there's always a lot of moving pieces to it, so thank you to the working group for all the hard work. Brian Cronin has been sort of facilitating and keeping us going, so thank you guys. Marketing update. If I can find my marketing notes. There we go. So, marketing group is a committee that's been made up of Mike Pierce, TJ Malveski, Fran McMullen, and myself. And we have proposed an event called the Opening of the Harbor 2025. The goal is to join the first Friday event scheduled for the first Friday in June. I think it's June 6th. The timing, the opening of the harbor event will be scheduled for Friday, the first Friday of June. It'll be, we're gonna have probably a 3-hour event, which will run concurrently with the first Friday event from 6 to 9. The location, it will be both an on the water and an onshore activities. The on the water portion will be vessels that will be open to the public while parked at Cole Parkway Marina in front of the Harbor Master building. Vessels attending right now, we have the Scituate Harbor Master vessels, the Scituate Police vessel, US Coast Guard, and I think it's a 27-foot. TJ?
Yeah, I talked to Justin on Friday. He's thinking probably the 29-footer will be open for tours.
9, thank you. It was one of those numbers.
Yeah.
And let's see, Noah will be coming over. Thanks, Fran. We've invited the environmental police and we've invited the Marshfield Harbor Master. So we'll see if they'll be showing up.
Already said yes.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So that's a yes. The other piece is Fran is going to be offering harbor tours around the harbor so that people can get out that have never been on the harbor and experience it. They'll put together what'd you say? Was it a 25-minute ride around the harbor?
35.
Max 35.
Big lobster rolls.
Big lobster rolls.
Ice cream.
Shocking.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. So the whole idea really is to bring people down to the harbor and see what's happening. On the land, we have several tables that will be placed on the grass between the harbor master building and the gazebo. And just so everybody knows, First Fridays will have their first band at the gazebo that night from 6 to 8. So we'll have different tables set up on the grass, and it will include the Scituate Fire Department with educational information. The Scituate Harbor Masters, Scituate Police will provide information regarding the new boating regulations that the state just rolled out, along with safe boating information. Noah will be there with handouts for families and information about life in Cape Cod Bay. The North-South River Watershed will be handing out details of their annual striper tournament. Table 5 will be the Irish Heritage Trail. They've got that beautiful monument right there, and they'll be having educational information about what they do. And I know we had talked about, and I don't know if this is locked in, but the oyster farmers may possibly be there with educational information and possible sampling, but we're working on that piece. And table 7, 101.3 The Coast will be broadcasting live. Right, TJ?
We will be there.
So that will be pretty cool. Extras, we're working with Miss Emily to see whether or not, and with the town to see whether or not we can have the Miss Emily food truck there. So we're working through that right now with the town to see if that's possible. There'll also be acoustic music. A musician will be playing some acoustic music on the Harbor Masters Outlook deck from 8 to 9. We're looking for cornhole boards. We could use like 2 if possible. We're going to need volunteers to help us just be around to help manage the event. Let's see, Mike and Dave have been speaking with Michelle at the town to make sure things are going well. The process, the select board or the town has a process online called Permitize, and Michelle wants us to get that thing started towards the end of this month, and then it goes to the select board for approval. So our goal really is to just invite everybody to sort of see their harbor and just sort of put a little bit more light on it. From a marketing standpoint, Mike Bierce does a lot of the marketing, as everybody knows. So he'll be working on trying to get that information out.
What was the date again?
I'm pretty sure it's the first Friday, and I'm pretty sure it's the 6th if I have it right.
Thanks.
Does anybody have any comments about the event? Do we need to make a motion about having the event from Waterways?
Maybe to support it.
Say that again?
Support it.
Does it? I would entertain a motion from the Waterways Commission to support the event that we're trying to hold.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Let me do a roll call vote. I'm sorry, any comments, suggestions? Yes, sir.
Just a side comment that this is an event that's held every first Friday with the Scituate Harbor Business Association merchants. So we're kind of working under the auspices of what they do. We've also got the support at this point of the Chamber of Commerce. We hope is going to also get involved. The Scituate Visitor Center and in the case of the waterways, the town of Scituate. So it's a nice touch to, put a theme to the first Friday of June. I think it's gonna be very successful.
And for people that don't know, Fran has been doing a ton of work behind the scenes and always been trying to find ways to help market what's really important to him. And I just want to say thank you for all the efforts that you've been putting through and trying to have people, let them understand what we're trying to do. And it's been really, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Mike.
If other people want tables, is there? Come to you, or are you already maxed out on that?
We're sort of maxed out on the grass. We were told that if we start going into the parking lot area, then we'd have to go and get a detail with the police, right, Mike?
Yes, correct.
So we're trying to just sort of keep it sort of up off of Cole Parkway. And if it goes well, then we'll try to expand it a little bit more next year.
Okay.
So try to keep it nice and easy this year, and then if it goes well, we'll expand it out a little bit more, and then who knows, next year will probably be a Lobster Fest Scituate. Right? Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Let me just do a roll call vote on this. Brian Cronin.
Aye.
Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Howie Kretzenberg.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes.
Stephen. Or David. Yes. Passes. Thank you. Up.
Yeah.
Huh?
Making decisions.
Nice project, and you put a lot of work into that, Dave, so it's work.
Howie. The one thing I didn't talk about, oh, Brian, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick question, and this really would be directed mostly towards Susan Harrison.
Uh-oh.
Looking for some help and maybe some insight. So the next select board, I believe, is on the 8th. So we're making a motion to do this seasonal revenue thing, I would imagine, with the notification of the parking lot work beginning, that people are going to start trying to make reservations. Can we accept reservations before it goes before the select board? I assume not.
No, because you have to set a rate.
Right, we'd have to approve the rate and then you could set it up the next day.
So can we get in? So can we get this in for the September 8th meeting?
September 8th?
April.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. The next meeting, April 8th.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Susan
thank you.
is,
I am going to,
she's on it.
I will get it in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I'm promising.
Howie, did you have a question or anything? Or are we good?
Thank you.
Okay, very good. We already talked about the Harbor Master feasibility study. Liaison reports, I attended the Economic Development Commission meeting last week and gave them an update on our opening of the harbor. They're all really excited. They elected a new chairperson, Barry, who's really engaged and has done quite a bit of work for the marketing of town. So a really good group of people.
Dave,
Yes, sir.
you jumped over stay local voting.
Yeah, I don't have enough information on that, and something that Howie and I were talking about. It's another marketing way to try to let people know about who we are and what we're about.
Okay.
Right, Howie?
Yes, I'm sure Stephen must be familiar with it because Stephen, I believe the harbor master is still part of the Mass Marine Trades Association.
I think they stopped sending us a bill though.
Well, the Mass Marine Trades Association sponsors a program. It's referred to boat local. And the whole concept of the program is to get people to move, for instance, from our marina to a marina in Boston or some other place and receive a discount to do that. So they want to spirit people to move. It's fairly short money. I don't have the exact amount, but we get a lot of free advertising on their site for people looking to go different places and make a go of it. So I would suggest we might want to consider that. In addition, they also have a fishing program for kids coming up. And I think we should take advantage of some of these things as marketing goes for our harbor.
Howard, can you send some information to Stephen?
Yeah, Stephen, are you still a member of the Mass Marine Trades Association?
I think so, but they haven't billed us for quite some time. I haven't signed anything from them.
Well, if you go their site, they send out this periodically, and I think it's a good way to promote Scituate. It's fairly it's free advertising, plus it's another bonus point for patrons to be able to move from our marina to sponsoring marinas there, provide them with a discount. So I think it's got some value to it.
Okay, we'll have Stephen take a peek at it. Thank you, Howie.
Sure.
Mike Gibbons, anything new on Cole Parkway redevelopment?
No, nothing new since last month. I gave you guys kind of a lengthy update on kind of what was going on with that. We haven't met since then. We are gonna meet next Tuesday for our next update on that, so I can give an update after next meeting, what's transpired since then.
Thank you. Shellfish Advisory, Dave Sinkowski's not here. Susan, have you been hearing anything with Shellfish? Or Mike Gibbons?
Mike has a Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah, so samples have been going good. We're actually sampling the harbor. All the tests have been really good, so hopefully next 18 months, 2 years, we'll be able to do some upwelling in the harbor. Area MB5 in the South River, that's the area south of the greenhouse on Central Street, Central Ave. So we're hoping to have that open November 1st, next November 1st. And then we're looking to do more seeding this year, but I'm trying to get more smaller seed to broadcast more of an area, because it's kind of hard to broadcast 2-inch cohogs. They start off well, like being broadcasted by hand, and all of a sudden it turns into the bucket being dumped overboard. Yeah, so I'm trying to work at Oyster, Island Creek in Duxbury. They're actually a seller for a quahog. He hasn't coming back yet. So we're looking to just do the same areas again, but broadcast a bigger, larger area with smaller seed and remove the contamination portion of the quahogs for 60 days of sampling. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So,
Mike, how far south is that, the new area go? To the bridge, C Street?
right around the whole island, right that whole.
Oh, so it's nothing like,
Right to the island.
yeah.
It's probably 8 more acres.
Yeah, it's a good
lot
size
there,
area.
yeah. So just, and you can walk to it.
Yeah.
You said that, yeah, the greenhouse there.
He's south of that, yeah, that's the greenhouse across the Grand View at Marshall, that's the cutoff line. But the thing is, sampling above it and sampling below it have been great. So you would think that the sample in the middle is just as good, which it is. However, you have to do 15 runs. So the 15 runs take us to November 1st.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
How about the spit hump?
And the Scituate side,
Yes.
never gonna happen. Never ever. But just within the 1,001 dilution of the sewer plants. But we just add more acres to the south rim, so I'm trying to pick up more acreage somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which you can actually walk to, which is safer. And then next year we'll see that again, where that place has a lot of steamers in there already.
And
So
there's parking there for people to be able to,
people have been parking on Central Street for the past 2 years with the placard system, and has not been one problem.
great.
And respect the dunes.
Yeah.
Don't drive up into the dome, just get off the road.
I think some of the neighbors actually get some quahogs, people park in the driveway, and they pay a tariff from quahogs to the neighbor to park in the driveway, and they go on their way.
Great,
So,
great.
Right, work, right?
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm gonna go out of order for police. Anything going on with the police?
Just one thing, our members are enrolled in that border safety course taught by the environmental police. It's gonna be happening the 8th, 9th, and the 15th of the public safety building. So once that happens, we're gonna start rolling out our of them.
April or May?
April. That's good. Have you got any signups yet?
Yeah, so all our members are currently enrolled.
Oh, good. Everybody's
Yeah,
do
so
it.
once that plays out, I'm sure that after the season or whatever, we'll probably roll out more courses just because the availability is tight right now.
Sure. Yep, end of the year
Yeah.
funding.
What
And
was your guidelines that they had, Mark had called me?
Over at the,
National Center?
it was good,
Was it good?
yeah, I mean, cold.
That's great.
Yeah.
And had you been aware that you're part of our opening of the harbor event?
Yes, yep.
Great,
So
thank
I've
you.
been, I talked to, Mike Pierce actually,
Great, thank you.
so.
Good, looking
he's keeping
forward,
me in the loop.
good. Looking forward to having you part of it.
Yeah, of course.
If I can do business real quick.
Yeah, well, I just order because poor Mike's sitting there and I didn't want to make him feel like he's last man standing, so. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
No, this is actually pretty important, so I met with Steve via phone. Might be done with the mass phase safety committee. I'm not talking about your meeting.
Oh,
So, but we do have NOAA that's gonna survey the South and North River via satellite. And the Coast Guard may be potentially moving some buoys in the rivers, which is very important. Secondly, we're trying to hire a person to do a hydrographic survey of that area. Because we're out doing water samples last Tuesday, and it went from went from 24.1 feet to 8.5 feet entering the South River in 1 hour after the high tide.
After high tide?
After.
Oh, boy.
And that was a 23-foot scale. So it's not pretty there. We know the Commonwealth pulled the money for that project, but it's gonna cost us probably the $5,000 each to survey that area. I think it's money well spent, and that survey is gonna go up in the Coast Guard's Notes and Mariners website and be put all over the place because it's very bad there. Extremely dangerous.
I spoke to Ellen today.
Oh, great, finally, thank you.
And, she made it sound like they're gonna stop funding dredging permits altogether. It's just not on their important list, states, it takes too long, too much money.
Discuss it for a sideline. I don't know how you have a state dredge program and you can't fund dredge permits.
Right.
I was shocked when she said it to me.
So on that topic, there's that one section of the South River that comes out and the sandbar just extends all the way in the channel. There's a red mark, there's normally red rapid turning. You'd want to leave, if you're coming into the harbor, you want to leave that to starboard. But you basically run right around on a sand spit. Could we get the, like, Coast Guard to switch it for a marine buoy, so it
Marking 2 entrances.
there's a buoy right there. I was just there the other day, running around, look at it.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Then walk the spit, and that way, you load up, it's just actually waiting to
That's
happen.
what I want to survey, and the Coast Guard could move those buoys potentially,
Red buoys are
but
around the channel.
They don't need to move the anchor, if they just unshackle the float and put the correct color on it, you'd have a problem.
It's unfortunately not that easy.
No.
Can we paint it green?
If you did a paintball gun, go for it.
So, Mike, getting back to that,
Yeah.
is that something that could happen? And if so, about the NOAA survey?
it's gonna happen.
So then we're gonna,
We're gonna have that, but it's
So-
not gonna be detailed enough, the hydrographic survey to give you more data. But the Coast Guard did say they will potentially move buoys if it proves that the buoys are not in the best water.
is there a timeline on something?
I'm trying to take care of it right now, if they gotta get back,
Okay,
Melvin called them like a week, 10 days ago.
And you sent out an email today to try to
Today
get a
again.
price on,
But also too in the rivers, just so you know, buoy number 9 is not on station, it's gone. And buoy number 11 is off station about 75 yards to the south.
yeah.
And like buoy number 9 is pretty critical when you're going into the South Rivers. And it's not there.
They stay out of there, it's a lot of. Down so.
Well, please keep us up to date. Thank you.
Quick question,
Yes, sir.
my question, about 8 years ago with Marshall Waterways, we did an MOU for the state dredging, maybe Franny, you were there, I don't remember. But for buying a state dredge, did that ever happen?
County dredge.
County dredge, right?
Little county.
Whatever happened to that?
They did go ahead and do it, but it's been used for other things. Not really being used.
Why don't we have access
They
to it?
didn't buy a dredge, they bought an excavator.
a long reach excavator.
Because we didn't pay in?
Well, no, we didn't, but with dredging in mind, but we didn't get involved.
You can buy the barge, you can buy the dump scout,
Right.
you didn't put in the
I
$5
thought,
million.
actually, I thought the guy, the treasurer there that day, put up $1.1 million to buy it.
Yeah, and Dick, Eckhouse and I went to several meetings down there about it, and it never really got off the ground.
Yeah,
They had an excavator, like Mike said, that's all they had.
They still have it.
They just, yeah.
They're
But I heard
using it
it's
on-
being used by the
They're
town.
using it on the Cape
Yeah.
a lot.
but this is for hydro dredging.
But the problem, Brett, is like, some portions of the county are suitable for beach nourishment. A lot of Hingham's not, Hull's not, Situate Harbor's not, Green Harbor, Inner Harbor is not. The rivers actually is suitable for beach nourishment, for hydraulic, but it's bony, it's rocky, clogs the machine. Like, just because you have a long stick excavator, like, that's only a third of the process, man. Like, you still need barges, you need tugboats, you need dump scouts.
So did I hear you correctly? She's cut off dredging?
I guess what he said.
No. Not dredging, permits,
Oh.
just
which is-
funding permits. That's what she said, that is the way it seemed to be going.
Really? So how are we gonna?
She didn't
dredge?
say that we pay for the
Gotta
permit.
pay for it.
We pay the permit and
We
they
pay
pay
for
the
the permit.
dredge.
Not the actual dredging, the permit to dredge.
Permits.
Permit.
Yes.
And how much do they cost?
$400.
Really?
Yeah.
A rip.
Yep,
Yep.
But the Mike's meeting. Actually,
275 versus 3750 per town. A couple other quick things, Stephen, anything more from the new dock that was permitted for the end of Edward Foster Road? Have you heard anything?
I went to a meeting at DEP and they asked me if I had to make a statement prior to, and I said that it wasn't a navigational hazard. And that's it. I'm not for it or I'm not against it.
Yep.
It's just not a navigational hazard.
Okay,
They said, okay, that's all for you. I left.
and that whole thing interesting, but that's another.
At the end of Edward Foster Road?
Yeah, there's a big house going up.
Was that?
There's a big house going up.
Yeah,
know,
okay.
You know, the guy,
Without a dock.
yeah, the Sagamore plumbing guy that does get that monster house.
Yeah.
He's also putting a dock in there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Doesn't go near the channel.
Just so everybody knows, Governor Healy, last month, extended the hybrid meetings. So they will now be good until June of 2027. Dave Doffney, how did the survival class go in March 24?
I emailed for a reservation, never heard back from them. I guess it happened, but she had emailed she came back and said that she would follow up with more information, and I didn't get anything, so I don't even know if it ever happened or it didn't, I don't know.
Okay,
Fishing partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw stuff on Facebook, I saw a bunch of couple people did it,
okay.
that's all, sorry.
they probably sold out because they only do like 10.
Yeah, it was a handful.
We had a presentation in Plymouth on it, and it was at Miller, wasn't it?
Yes,
It was in Situate.
yeah.
So I figured we could.
Yeah, I emailed her right away
Yeah.
and she emailed me back but I did nothing.
Yeah, we didn't get anything about it, so I just wanted to see if anything
Yeah.
happened. Thank you. And finally, and then we'll go to public comments. Reminder, town meeting, special town meeting will be held on Monday, March 14th at the Scituate High School gym, 6:30. And remember, our right to fish bylaw will be up for a vote. So hopefully everybody can be there and be in attendance to help vote for right to fish in Scituate. And thanks again for all the help there. And then
And that passed unanimously, as well as the advisory committee.
unanimously.
Yeah, for both.
Oh, thank
Could
you.
you repeat the date? I thought you said March.
I thought he said March as well.
I might have said March. I'm sorry, April.
April.
Okay.
April 14th. I'm sorry.
I wasn't losing
Thank you,
my
Paul.
mind.
You put your vote in, tell me.
Yeah.
You can. Go to clock.
Sorry.
Reserve a spot, put your vote in, go to town meeting.
Any other comments or suggestions? O'Toole's, how goes the marina rebuild?
It's pretty good. I'm still working on all the decking right now.
Yep,
Um,
yep,
yeah, I ordered a bunch of new water mains for in there, well, inside the docks. So So we all freshen the water systems, no water blowouts, it'll be great. And we're slowly chugging away on the decking.
Yeah, Chris and David, for you guys that don't know, they're the new owners of the marina.
It
and
was the Herring River, yeah.
Herring River, and they've been replacing a lot of the dock, especially the top part, so in water, so.
Yeah.
What's it called now?
It's called Riverway, Mariana.
Riverway?
Yeah.
But there's still James.
Does anybody else have any comments or suggestions?
Oh,
Yes,
I
sir.
have comments, I have something to announce, a new business or whatever.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll put another head on. My name is Mike McDonough. I'm the chairman of the Mass Bay Harbor Safety Committee, South Shore Division. Which is one of the many other things that I do. I am holding my annual meeting next week, April 8th, at Mr. DeMayo's lovely facility over in Marshfield. Last year, we did it here in Scituate at the old Pier 44 for us old parts also. Jesus, Dave, I call myself an old guy now. Isn't that crazy? So we are a group of professional mariners in the Port of Boston and Mass Bay. Mostly either ship captains, ex-Coast Guard, things like that. And it's a bridge group between the Coast Guard and the commercial world. It is also expanded to the recreational world, where we kind of talk about and deal with the interaction between vessels and recreational vessels. A lot of it came out of like the deep draft vessels in Boston Harbor, transit going and forth. But the Coast Guard, through a directive, directive, is that what I'm looking at? Yeah. I don't speak Coast Guard too well. Mike speaks Coast Guard better than I do. It expanded into recreational and more throughout. So each capital port area has a harbor safety committee, which is broken up into different regions. So we're required to do a yearly meeting in each one of our sectors. So South Shore covers from Manhattan Point all the way up to basically Boston. So it's a higher level meeting. I've invited most, if not all, the harbor from South Shore, police departments, EPOs, Coast Guard. So a lot of the stuff you guys are charting on tonight. Dredging, safe boater law, safe boater education, is all going to be talked about at a high level at this discussion. I've invited, at the request of our two harbor masters here and a few other harbor masters, higher level people from NOAA and Corps of Engineers to talk about dredging permits to see what we can get moving. Representative Kearney is hopefully going to be there. He hasn't confirmed whether or not. It was Senator O'Connor. Usually somebody from his office shows up and they take our questions, concerns, comments, and bring it to a higher level. The president of the board usually meets once a quarter or so with the governor and brings us our concerns there. We also meet with the Coast Guard leadership very regularly and bring our concerns there. So the South River, we had a big topic of discussion with Scituate Waterways. Mr. Tim Chase and I. So maybe next month, Michael or Stephen can report back that we had a successful meeting and all sorts of good stuff. So if anybody has anything they wanted to brought up, you're more than happy to give me my email. You can send me a formal email, and we can do.
Great.
What was the date, Mike? And is it open to the public?
It is not technically open to the public. We have a limited number of seats we can do. We're capped at about 25 or so for Michael thereabouts. Yeah. All depends on how many donuts and coffee I bring in, how many people show up. So
And you said the 8th, and what time is that?
09:45.
The coffee donut ratio is pretty good. Yeah.
We have a hard stop at 11:45.
Yep.
High level discussions, but if anybody has any questions, concerns, comments beyond what we talked about tonight, please.
Hopefully, having you here to sort of hear what's going on. Hopefully we can get some of that information to some of those high level people.
I will hate to say it, but I've been coming, I'm a low frequency but high listener of these meetings for the last 10, 15 years. I know people have been on the committee that started the committee, and I hate to say it, but it's the same stuff we've been hearing for the last 30 years. So we'll keep on working at it. So
Has everybody had a chance to sign into the sign-in sheet? You see, I'm looking at you two over there. Troublemaker.
Yeah, I did it for us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anybody else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to,
I have one,
Oh.
Jeff, it's a quick, one. Jeff,
Oh, yeah, Jeff, yes, I'm sorry.
Jeff just, gave me a heads up that he wanted to be mentioned that, he forgot to, that the possibility of him tearing up fresh asphalt on a hot day is more than likely going to happen. While maneuvering a 35,000 pound boat on a trailer up to the truck, it might be tough operating on fresh asphalt, if, you know, they did this prior to, just
well,
thought.
generally, asphalt will cure up, and as long as you're not doing 90-degree turns on it and you give it a good 24 or 48 hours, it gets pretty firm, especially depending on the type of rollers that they're using. And if they're using the 10-ton, they'll be fine. But thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Wait a second.
Second.
Heard somebody say second. Roll call vote. Brian Cronin,
Aye.
Brian Kelly,
Absolutely.
Howie,
Yes.
PJ,
Aye.
Steven.
Said I, he's gotta go.
And Dave says yes. We are out at 8:01. Thank you, everybody. A long meeting, but a productive meeting, and I really appreciate all the input, and it was a good meeting. So thanks, everybody.